And we're live.
Awesome.
David Karle from Solar and Security Distribution out of North Carolina, as well as the Tint Wizard, and you supply CoolVu window film to the eastern part of the United States.
Correct. Yeah, I control me and my partners and team. We control from Delaware down to Florida, West Virginia, and Tennessee. And
First
then
thing
we
I
have
think of when you say Delaware is Cody Becker.
Cody Becker's a rock star, man. I tell that kid that every day. He's a great kid. I love him to death. Him and his dad.
You know how you like you learn things as a kid, like little like rhymes and things like that. Somehow Cody put it in my head recently. He was like, "Yeah, Delaware, like it's the middle of nowhere, like Delaware." And like every single time I hear Delaware now, it's Cody Becker, it's Short Tint and More, and it's Delaware.
So he's just throwing something out. Yeah,
Anyway,
that
um,
he's got a great perspective, man. He's kind of like I look at someone like him and I see the future of our industry. I really do. You know what I mean? I have a lot of respect for him. He doesn't even realize it. Like I learn something from that kid every day. You know what I mean? He's just some people just have that. It just flows in their blood. You know, it comes instinctively. It's like a great basketball player. You know, they don't even realize they have the it factor and they carry it with them and they just apply it. And it's second nature to them where, other people have to work at it. You know what I mean? So
yep. And
a lot of
for
respect.
and for Cody, like I love that scenario because like it's Cody and it's his dad, and you have somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. Then you have this new, fresh outlook, and you have them working together with synergy, like really together, and you get the best of both worlds because you get the guidance of the experience, which can't be undervalued. There's no way to take away from the value of having experience in the actual, just like in the industry, of being have seen it and being have gone through it and so on. But then you also have that fresh perspective of somebody who's excited and new and hungry.
Yeah, he ain't slowing down. No, he's definitely not going to slow down. He's going to be a monster. I mean, there's no doubt. I love his dad in the background. His dad is one of those. It's almost like I don't even know how to describe it. I always see him as like kind of like it's a Star Wars story. You know what I mean? Dad is Yoda, and he's just a young little Skywalker guy. You know what I mean? He's coming up. He's being trained. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Anybody that also, I want to make sure I say this. These guys come along in the industry too with a lot of respect for the industry. You know what I mean? They're not after the entitlements of the industry, and that's important because they humble themselves, and that's why they continue to learn more. I think that's a playbook even for me and everybody. Man, we've got to learn from this industry, and you can't every day. You just gotta, be humble. There are people that are always going to know a little bit more than you, and I it's amazing sometimes when you take a 22-year-old kid like that, and I'm learning from him. Like I've actually learned some stuff from him, so it's great, man. It's just it's a powerful thing.
And one of the big changes that I think, I mean, now I'm speaking for him, but I mean, I've heard it from Cody. Um, One of the big changes they made maybe a year or so ago, you tell me exactly, was they switched film brands, and I don't completely even remember where they came from, but I know where they went, which was for flat glass. As my understanding, they're a CoolVu dealer now, and they also changed their auto film to Expel, and they're that to me, what I feel like that film change has changed the game for them, because before that, I know their flat glass, as far as, again, I speaking for somebody, so you can come back and tell me I'm completely wrong. My understanding was a flat glass was a very small part of their business, or at least not that, and now that's completely changed and tremendously grown with the addition of having a film that you can go into a flat glass job with a line that you have a unique film, you have a unique offering, you have marketing material, you have all these things that I think were lacking from the brand that they were carrying previously, where yeah, I have access to the films, but I don't really have the tools to sell them, so that then falls on the burden of them, and it changes the whole dynamic of what you end up selling, I think. Is that
Yeah,
about right?
that's yeah. I mean, that's been cool of you from day one. Like that was really cool about the whole setup of this. It's like we focused we just all of our focus went on how to be dealers for dealers. None of we're distribution. Yes, I get it, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's not anyone in our whole web of individuals involved with CoolVu that can't hang window film. Maybe some office people, but that's just different. It just anyone that's on the ground, like as a trooper. So, we attacked the market in a direction that, we went after this brand, this type of film and this type of film. Like, I mean, one of the things that we talk about all the time, and I'll bring it straight up. No, CoolVu is not a manufacturer. We never claimed to be. We're not. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's not a strength. That's a complete strength from our point of view. We went to different manufacturers, and we had every film brand has a really good film. But the problem is what we saw was you're stuck with that film, but then you don't have any of the other good options. So we branched out to 6 different manufacturers, and we produced all these different wonderful films that we can just fill every slot for. So you can't do anything but have growth if you are able to walk into any situation just about and fix a problem. And that's how we looked at it. It was like, we walk into a situation, we needed this, or we didn't have this. And when I was with other people, we didn't have this, we didn't have, just a common problem that we
Yeah.
have. So, development of film choices and film quality and construction. I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I mean, it's a daily basis for me. Like, I want to give a shout out to everyone that's involved in this team and this family, because that's what we are. I mean, we really are a family. We are a team. We talk on a daily basis. We're always discussing, like, how can we make it better for anyone who's involved in CoolVu. I mean, I can't express, being in this industry for as long as I have, how much that means to me, to understand that we get to push that out there as a family, not just it's not just about, of course we're branding, we're a business, we're going to do that. But at the same time, it's like fulfilling a need for a guy like Cody's. I mean, we can use him as an example all day long. You're right. Automotive for them was a leader. And now look, flat glass is their leader because they actually understood options and different choices and different film technologies that compete with this or compete with that. And I don't even think you just call it competing. I just say everything under the CoolVu umbrella is designed to help you succeed. And that's what we're seeing across the board.
Yeah, I want to touch on a bunch of things you just said. So one of them being, you mentioned at the beginning, you're not a manufacturer, you've curated films and you've developed technologies and so on. And I think that's one of those things, like, don't let it, like, anybody listening, don't let yourself get caught up in team BS. Like, oh, you don't make it. So, okay, first and foremost, like let's take your iPhone. Like, I love my iPhone. I'm not concerned if Apple made every single piece of that phone. I'm happy they put it together. Like, we have Tint Wiz. You're not concerned if I made the phone that you're going to use Tint Wiz on. You don't want me making your phone. I'm good making the software. They're good making the phone. You're good doing your part. We all have our part. And the point is, if like it, how can one possibly see it as a strength to be able to do everything? Now, of course, there are strengths that come in there because you have control and you have these things. But I think in a lot of cases, the weaknesses outweigh the strengths if you say, well, what if you want to try to do everything versus you find your area where you're great. And as a business, there is somebody who has to make the film, right? Somebody's got to actually make the film, right? And whether they're part of your company or because they're physically in your building, or they're part of your company because they service your business, there's not really a difference. Like, I don't feel like there's such a tangible difference that it should come into anybody's consideration, because it really is, what film lineup do you have? What is the product? What is the experience? What are you there to do? You're there to sell and install film, and wherever that product makes sense and comes from, it's fine. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is the experience behind CoolVu. So we talked about how important experience is, and you mentioned the team and the family and so on. Why don't we touch on, like, the people behind CoolVu and I guess, like, where that is, because CoolVu, while CoolVu is a brand that has been out for a few years, it's not by people that have been out for just a few years. And I think that's
No,
incredibly important as well. A new product is great from an experienced place.
no, you're exactly right. CoolVu headquarters is based in Atlanta. Some really, really great minds are behind it. They definitely have been in the flat glass industry for 30 plus years. They definitely came to certain individuals, select individuals like, Bob Bruder, and he's in the Midwest region out of Arkansas, and then came to us in the East Coast, me and Jason Mayer, and just knew our experience across the board with what we did. And, they leaned on us for even further experience. It wasn't like, it was just a different scenario. It wasn't like, hey, here's what you got, this is what we need you to work with. It was like, hey, check this out. If this doesn't work, send it back. Let's reformulate it. I mean, we went back and forth with that. I can't even tell you how many times. It was painstaking. You know what I mean? But it was that's the teamwork of it, is what I'm saying. Like, so we had to, position ourselves back and forth, and it never fell on deaf ears. None of this ever did. So that's how I initially got the feeling in the beginning that this was such a team effort because it did it nothing fell on deaf ears. It just every time we had something to address, it was addressed. People went out of their way. Didn't matter if it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we behind the scenes, these people that are behind some of this, just our teams. Like I can give you an example on ours, like Nicole and Susie, and Jason's my partner. I mean, we take this home with us every night. This doesn't end at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm talking to dealers sometimes 10, 11 o'clock at night because that's what you do if you want to change something. It's not a box store. We don't open and close at a certain time. Now, unfortunately, that's business because of when you operate. But at the same time, if you want to take something to another level, you can't do the same thing over and over and obviously expect a different result. So that mindset was sent down from the top that, hey, if you need me, you contact me. So that's been the pleasure of this. So like, there's been so many rewarding things that have come out of it because of that situation coming down from the top. The way that they have, it's been an open book. I never want to ever say anything about anything else. I just, speaking of my own experiences as far as the window film industry goes, it's really needed that open book for a long time. It's been one of those things that a lot of guys are always curious about. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? It's you're contacting me for professionalism, support you, help you grow, take your call when you need it, just be there. That's what a distributor is, and I think we're just trying to redefine that. Again, we say it's hung up on a wall back there. We're dealers for dealers. And that's started from day one. And it's less and not more. We're not in this to oversaturate the market. We're not in here to try to dominate any other distribution or manufacturers or anything like that. We just know that there's a place for us. There's definitely a hole in the industry for certain things. And we're just trying to fill in the best we can. We're growing constantly with technology. I mean, obviously what put us on the map is transitional window films. That's been the go-to for us, and everybody's curious and wants to know about it. So, we just grew from there. We saw the need for it.
So let's touch on transitional films. Easton Ellis asked, will CoolVu have a better warranty than 10 years on transitional films? How do you sell around that? And then there was a couple comments, and actually your team said lifetime residential auto, 10-year commercial, 15-year all other non-transitional films. So auto warranty for a transitional film is?
Well, that's 5 years. Yes.
Okay, 5 years. And then flat glass, residential and commercial is what?
5 and 8, depending on a supplemental warranty. And we're constantly working to try
Got
to,
it. Yeah, because the warranties I just read were for non-transitional films, by the way. I just want to make that clear because I made it super
exactly.
confusing. So those are the
So,
non-transitional. Transitional is 5 and 8, you said, right?
yes, correct. Let me kind of explain that a little bit too,
Okay.
so people understand, because that's there's a big what here, and you had a question from somebody is how do you get around that? Look, this comes with us building a big portfolio of films, different SKUs, right? So every film's not going to fit every situation. So understanding that is the first key to really grasping the concept of why transitional has its place in the market, and then it doesn't fit other things. I, everything everything to this point, window film hasn't had a moving part. Smart films may, in which we carry a great smart film too as well, but it hasn't had a moving part. So we're adding a moving part to something that's never happened. I mean, you can only open and close something so many times before it's going to break.
That's right.
So longevity will come with years of development. I mean, we got to the point now where we did test it when we ran it through Intertech, and we did some great things with the film to get a stamp of approval. Third party, this isn't manufacturer, this is third party testing. So we didn't, just say this is what it's going to do. We rolled the dice on a third party company to test it, and that was the report we got back, and we felt that was strong enough to move to market. But no, it's not going to fit every situation. I wish it
Right.
did, but it just doesn't. And that's just not that's just like, if somebody wants glare reduction, you're not going to use a 70% window film, so it falls under the same lines. You just have to fulfill a need, find out what that need is, and address it.
Right. So it's not like, don't think about it in the terms of like something to get around. It is, it is what it is as far as the product. As for automotive, like what comes to my mind immediately is, if you're talking to a customer, right, and they come in for tint and you're showing them some options. First question you can ask them if it's a newer car is, did you buy the car? Or are you leasing it? And if they tell you I'm leasing the car, you instantly know that that 5 years is not going to be a concern because they have a lease. That lease is probably 3 to 5 years. So like right there, you have a demographic of customer that that warranty is for sure a non-issue because they've just told you that they're temporarily using that car. So if you tell them, hey, do you want a film that gets darker and lighter? It's the newest technology and so on. I don't see warranty possibly coming up in that issue and like that
No,
scenario. Like
no, that's
zero. It
exactly
sounds
correct.
exciting.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. I mean, that's how we look at it. And if you know if it's a concern, then you just have to pivot to another film. I mean,
Sure.
it's
It's a
just that simple.
trade-off.
Right, right. We're not, you know, yeah, I would love to say, oh, it's going to transition for 100 years. Well, I mean, buildings, roofs don't last 100 years. Pavement doesn't last 100 years. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it's just something that it just comes along with the territory of the product. And it's something that understanding the product and what position it fits, it just helps you make a better decision for your customer. But it
Think of,
does feel cool.
and you can think of it too like this, like Easton saying people love the transition, nothing out there like it, but people keep their houses longer than 10 years. You know, people do keep their houses longer than 10 years. You're 100% right. But like paint on houses doesn't last like forever. It lasts, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. Like there's a lifetime. Like if you put carpet in your home, you don't expect that that carpet will be there forever. You know that there's going to be a lifetime of that carpet. And like I feel like, you know, if you're approaching it again, do you want something to last forever? We have this, and we do have things that can last forever. If you want the performance of transition, we have this, and that's your choice. And you're presenting options. Don't in your head make the objection for yourself. You know, it's up to the customer. And I think a lot of times people are like battling in their own head with sales and objections, and the customer is like, don't ever say no for the customer. Put it that way. You know?
No, you're just adding options and you're just being transparent and palms up to a customer and you explain it to them. I mean, it's just kind of a funny thing because I have a window tinter. If any film lasts forever, there sure are a lot of strip and redos going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, right?
You know, so I mean, it's again, most of the time it's a higher end situation that it has to the climate has to be correct for it. And I'm not talking about climate weather, but just the correct scenario in order for installation for it to make the most sense for a customer. And then you from there you move forward, but you have other options. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
you know, I get that question all the time. There's some challenges with transitional window films because it's a new technology. I mean, you have to really make sure that you're putting it into the correct situation. I mean, people study and want to know every film and break them down spec wise and understand all that. There's no difference in this film. There's some situations that you walk into, it's just not the right fit. You show it to the customer for the wow factor of it because you want to be the most memorable person after you leave the house. But you know, as a trained professional, that's not the film that should fit that scenario.
Right.
I mean, we all learn that over time. You know, there's certain things that fit certain things and certain things that don't.
Exactly. And another thing about CoolVu that I caught on to, and tell me again if I misperceive this from the outside, but it seems like as you all were rolling out, there was and probably still there was a marketing effort on CoolVu's part in the sense that it seemed like there is a consumer awareness of people who find out about the transitional window film, however, through Google search, through whatever your marketing techniques are, and so on. But there seems to be actual consumer demand for transitional film. It seems to be growing. And it seems to me to make sense as a dealer to have something like that in your arsenal so that you can take advantage of it when somebody in your area wants it for their car or their home. Because even if you're saying like how do I go sell it? Well, what about just the part of fulfilling it? And
Uh,
it seems like there's a pretty big demand, right?
you're answering your own question. I mean, it's a huge demand for it. I mean, there are certain situations where, I mean, just take a restaurant for instance. We'll just use this as a basis. I mean, we just did one here recently, and at night they wanted visibility so people could see in the store, but during the day they wanted some privacy. I mean, it fits both worlds. You know, it's like most guys want glare reduction, but they want to be able to see at night. I mean, so there's your scenario and situation that it works perfect in. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
just want dual reflective 15. Well, you know, we've got that too. So, and that's the thing. I mean, I want people to make sure they understand that transitional window film is just one film in our line. You know, we have a lot of good window films. There's nothing, no basket we can't fill. And
Right. That's just
and
kind of the flagship product in a sense, would you say?
yeah, absolutely. You know, it gives you a great. It's just a great story. I mean, I to this day, whenever it's demoed or the success stories I hear from our partners, because I don't call anybody a dealer. They're not one of our dealers. They're a partner because we really truly that's how we build. Um, the customer always is wow. You've yet after you show it to somebody, they don't go wow. I mean, you get that response out of a customer. You're in the home run stretch. Even if they do pivot to a different film, you're in the home run stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's there's a lot of cues that go into making the sale. Whether you're talking about auto, whether you're talking about it on the phone or in person, whether you're flat glass and you're in person, whatever it is, there's a lot of little cues. And like I find that, the more of those things and like I think people are typically not necessarily the greatest at knowing all the things that are working for them and working against them. But at the end, you know that, hey, I'm selling the customer, I'm not selling the customer. What I'm getting at is there's things like how you're dressed. Are you neat and clean? Is your shop clean? Are you polite over the phone? And so on. And something like showing a transitional film instantly triggers in somebody's head a sign of technology, a sign of new technology, in a time where everybody is drawn to technology, whether it be on their phone or whether it be in their car or in their home. Everybody's drawn. They're working from home. There's always technology. And now here you are with this option that you can show them that at least shows that you're on top with the best and the options that they've never even imagined that were there. Whether that's the option they pick or not, it sets a tone. It's a feeling. It's the same reason why if you're using a pen and paper and iPad, it's a different experience for the customer. One shows modern, one shows maybe a little less modern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the that I try to take with all our partners and make them, when they come on. And I mean, we have some really successful dealers. I think you know that. I've always just kind of always thrown this in there, and they know this. And sometimes it's good to be reminded. We have a responsibility when you sell film to educate the consumer. And at the end of the day, win or lose the bid, as long as you educated the consumer, you're not losing. You're helping the industry. And that's these are all viewpoints that we take as we've been doing this is guys like me. I mean, the window film industry has been amazing to me. I mean, how many guys it's been amazing to me. I mean, see a show of hands of guys that have just this whole industry has just changed their life. Who knows where they would end up or what they've done. So we owe it back a little bit to make sure that people are intelligent, they make good decisions, and they're just educated. I mean, I just find it's a personal thing to me. I have a tendency to get a little personal with stuff, and to me, I've always felt that I'm so blessed in the industry that from where I came from to where I am now, that I give it back to the customer, and I give it back to our partners, and any aspect I can, education wise. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Yeah, there's too much to know. You can get out in left field trying to learn everything. You know what I mean? But if you hone in and just focus on partner development and customer education, you're going to start to create a success story. I mean, that. I mean, look at you. Look what you're doing for people. I mean, I literally, Eric, I think right now you've got a phone book list of about 30 people that would come to your house and do your laundry for you.
Don't let my wife hear that because she'll take them up. I'm gonna have 30 people here doing my laundry because she doesn't want to do it. I appreciate you saying that. I get what you're saying. Like, it does. I really look. I echo what you're saying in the sense like if you treat people the way you would want to be treated, if you offer a service the way you would want the service and so on, it's successful. It doesn't matter if you're a distributor, manufacturer, a dealer, an installer, and anything. If you treat people the way you want to be treated, if you imagine how would I want this to work and do that, it works out. It's not about selling the customer. Like you said, it's about educating the customer. You're there to be their expert, not sell them on something, not gouge them for prices, not anything. You're there. Think of like how Tesla comes into a world of car dealerships that who can stand going to a car dealership and they can come in and go, hey, we're going to make a really badass product and we're going to do it over here. And then if you want to buy it, here's the price and here's how you can buy it. And you go, all right, I trust these guys. It's not a haggle. It's not a, uh-oh, what are we doing? Am I going to get ripped off today? don't let your wife go shopping without you, and then don't let your husband go and get ripped off. And you know what I mean? It's not about selling people. It's about educating them and being their expert.
Yeah, education builds consumer confidence. I mean, it's as simple as that. You know, how many times if you go into a cell phone store and sit down with a guy and he's willing to show you all the bells and whistles, you end up buying that phone or reaching a
Right.
little bit higher because he makes sense to you, you know?
Yep. It's an
And those
obstacle.
guys,
Right. That demo is another thing, like you're saying. If how many times they taken advantage of like taking the time to show you things. I always say to like, it you may I think like in sales, it's like if you're talking to a customer, if we're a dealer and we're talking to a consumer, you can feel rushed. You can feel rushed to try and get to the point or answer the question or give them the price and move on or whatever it is. But it helps the more you can slow down and talk to them, the more you can explain. If you have a demo chance, like you're saying, because think if you go in with samples and you show them, but versus I can demo something, just the fact that you can show a heat demo or a visual demo of a transition or let them feel the difference in heat, that demonstration takes a few extra minutes, but it's the difference between making a sale or wondering why they didn't go with you. I feel like.
oh, no, I mean, I totally, how can anyone disagree with that? You know, that's the key. Demonstrations, education. I mean, and that's what we bring on as CoolVu. It's like, we got a lot of young guys that have come on with CoolVu that, I kind of have taken a liking to a lot. And I really, and that's kind of been my, again, personal insight as to why make them go through all the mistakes that I had to go through to be successful. You know what I mean? They have an amazing opportunity. I think guys nowadays that have been in the industry maybe less than 10 years, I think, you know, using the tools that are out there and taking advantage of the people that are willing. Look, there's a lot of great people. This is a family. I mean, I know it's dysfunctional at times, the window tinting family, but we are a family. We all have the same goal in mind. If we all took the same approach and really tried to, venture out and educate everyone that came through the system, because I mean, let's think about how many people still don't even really know you can tint their house. I mean, I find that
Right.
amazing, but it's
Right.
just the truth, And if we did that, we're just creating our own economy. We're creating our own environment. I mean, look at the. I mean, I know some shops struggled this year because of the challenges that we've been faced, but there's some shops that have just went absolutely through the roof in sales. And
A lot. I feel like if I had to just go by people I talk to and hear from, everybody's going through the roof, and I can't think of many. There's a handful. There's a very small handful that are not doing too good during this winter, but the established businesses, everybody's killing it. They're killing it, and I think it's a good time to reflect and go. If I'm not killing it right now, I need to rethink my like I'm missing something, some marketing, some exposure, something that's letting me be busy when everything's overflowing during the summer. But I clear, you know what I mean? Like this is the time
yeah,
to realize: do you have a business, or are you just getting the overflow because of a huge demand during the summer?
yeah, be humble. I mean, there's guys out there that you can pick up the phone and call that will talk to you. In my 20 some year, I don't know, forever, I don't remember not window tinting. There's so many people that I could call up, that no one was ever short of giving me some advice. Technology's changed, so it's made it a little bit easier, but there's never been a shortage of great people if you humble yourself a little bit and call them up. I mean, you can call the biggest guys in the United States right now, and you tell me from a window tint shop, chances are they might not be able to answer the phone right then, but they'll come back. They'll get back to you, and if you just ask them some basic questions, man, they're more than willing to help you out, and that's the beauty of it. And I don't think, I don't think guys take advantage of that as much as they should. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that they should take advantage of that more. Because
Yes.
it's just you learn something from everywhere you go. If you're always humble and you keep yourself on that playing basis of that, you're going to continue to grow every day as long as you're willing to accept information. The minute you think that you have it all together, that's the scary part. That's when it's. I hate to say it, but you're really taking steps backwards, and
Yep.
and never stop being hungry. You know what I mean? Always be hungry, hungry for information. That's just how I view it on that.
Yeah. Don't worry about what you know. Like, be interested in what you don't know, because what you know, you already know. But if you're interested in what you don't know, it's like you stick to learning. What type of dealer is a CoolVu dealer? Like, what kind of person? Like, is it If I'm sure there's a ton of people that maybe they say, "Hey, I'm just a mobile. I do automotive and mobile. Is CoolVu something I could add?" Is there like what kind of requirements are there to become a CoolVu dealer? What do you look for in a new dealer, and so on, or a partner rather?
Honesty, transparency, just we do realize they're the customer. I mean, make sure I say that up front because that's important. That every partner that ever comes on a CoolVu, they're a customer, so they're going to be treated 100% that way. I mean, that's again, we're proud of CoolVu. At the same time, we do understand that you're still buying from us, and without if you don't win, we don't win. So the requirements are, I mean, every market's a little different. There's different areas that require a little bit more skin in the game, as they would say, or this and that. But the requirements really are just, be willing to tell us about yourself. We want to know. We're not digging into you because we want to make sure that you can buy X amount of dollars every year. A lot of times we're looking at guys that say, hey, this guy over here in this area, he's not the biggest dealer, but he sounds the hungriest. He's the most willing to learn. I want to go to work every day and work with people I like to work with. I mean, there's no point in that. If you're going to be the biggest, if you buy the most film from me a year and your attitude's bad, you know, I'd rather stay away from anything negative. That's not our guy. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
really want ultra positive people that come to the table that help the community of window film and CoolVu Brotherhood and the family, and are willing to help other people. You know what I mean? Like help other manufacturers, help other dealers, help other brands. Again, we're all in this
Right.
big vegetable pot together, and we've got to figure out a way to coexist. And there's enough room for everybody, or we all wouldn't be in it.
Yep.
So the requirement is really simple. Just be call us. You know what I mean? Let's have a conversation. I mean, how much can I say? Let's build a relationship. Let's talk a few times. Let's see if we make sense for you and you make sense for us. I mean, that's as open as transparent as you can be. We're not going into markets and every and just trying to set up every dealer that we can. I mean, again, I feel that's a disservice to the industry. I've always felt that oversaturation does not give your dealer a chance to stand out. He shouldn't have to really compete against the same product down the street. He needs a competitive advantage, and that's really what we focus on. And as long as they understand that and they're loyal to that, and we're loyal to them, which is a building relationship, right? You don't fall in love with a girl on the first date. I mean, you can, but you get what I'm saying. I just feel it's more of a relationship situation for us. Qualifications are relationships and conversations, and just finding common ground to see if there's anything we can do to help you, and then from there, let's start working at it. I don't know really a better way to put that. It's always a numbers game in this industry, and I get it, and it's going to be no matter what you do, because we've talked about this a million times, even offline. Me and you, we're all just trying to feed our families at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So what's the best runway for that? But at the same time, if your runway is a lot longer than what you even perceive, and the smart minds that we have behind us and all of CoolVu and the CoolVu team sees it, then more than likely you're the fit for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's I'm laughing because Haas won because it's a game every fucking Tint Wisdom to make me laugh, and they did it. So good job, Haas. But to what you're saying and to your point, that's a very clear answer. A clear answer doesn't have to be numbers. That's a very clear answer in the sense that and it points to the fact that yeah, window film is window film. There's different kinds, and it can be in different boxes, and it can be made differently and look differently, and so on. But there's more to it, and that more to it is something that like is really important, and is I think becoming more and more important. And who the hell wants to work around people that you don't want to work around? Like, do you what
Yeah.
like you can think about it again now? If you go down to like if you think about a tint shop and you go, does a tint shop want customers coming in that are a pain in the ass, or do they want a customer coming in that says, "Hey, I got a new car, and you do tint. Tell me what kind of benefits." You want somebody who's open and says, what are the options, and listens and asks questions and so on. And I feel like when you take that same expectation of your client but you apply it to how you view other companies that you work with, it's the same thing. Hey, CoolVu, what do you guys offer? This is what we do. That's what you do. How can we work together? As opposed to CoolVu, I haven't heard of it. That's a new film. Oh, fuck them. You know what I mean? Or some sort of weird thing. Or like CoolVu, it's just, hey, CoolVu, who are you? What do you offer? How does that fit? And you come to a great relationship, hopefully, or at least part of the same industry. And that's a nice thing too, where I feel like previously you were a part of your dealer network. And that was kind of the bubble you might be in mainly. But now with social media and I feel like kind of these walls breaking down, like you said, there's nobody you couldn't call in the industry. I feel like there's so many from any brand that wouldn't drop what they're doing to help you and talk to you and chat and whatever. And it's become more than just a dealer network and it's become an industry, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's
I
just
talked to Oss on the phone today. I mean, we had a great conversation about collard greens and cornbread. We're both North Carolina cats, so
right, right.
so we all can learn from each other. I mean, that's at the end of the day, and that's going to create a relationship. And these are guys you want to be around. Standing behind somebody and standing them up and helping them and being there for them. I mean, these are all things that we have to earn. And just because somebody comes on and the relationship works, that's when we go to work. That's truly when we go to work. You've made the commitment to us that, hey, you want to be a part of the CoolVu family. You want to be part of the CoolVu team. Now let me and my team now show you what it's like to work for your business. And that's how we go at everybody. We schedule calls with guys. I mean, I just being in the industry so long, I saw a lot of things that were missing, and then I wanted to say, hey, why don't we apply this in where I felt like it was shortchanged? Now, look, there's some tint shops out there. They don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? But there's other guys that do like to talk and they do like to feel appreciated. The honesty level is we do appreciate them. You know what I mean? We don't just make those phone calls because it's the right thing to do because you're buying film. I mean, I've got guys that don't buy film from us and I still talk to them on a regular basis. I'm constantly building relationships with people because eventually down the road, I'm going to have something they need or they're going to have a piece of information that I need, vice versa. And you know how that works, man. I don't, it's
It's a
not,
cheat code. Being friends and being nice to people and like sharing is like a cheat code to like a nice life and good information and it really is. I mean it because if I feel like you can easily be in that mindset or me versus and it's not you versus. If it's you versus, it's going to be you versus. But that's not. I feel like that's a hard way to live, a hard way to do business, and like
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
not a big fan.
Right, right. As we move forward, I mean, and the cool thing about CoolVu, cool View, is we're not done. We're not even close to done.
Right.
I mean, the stuff that's coming down the pipeline with how we have, all the different manufacturers and stuff like I told you, this is just the beginning for our SKUs and all our different lines and films. I mean, our goal is to continue to address every area of the industry that has a hole in it or, a product that will up our game because we're good. In order for you to up your game, we got to up our game. So we are 10 steps ahead of that and trying to develop that every single day. And that comes with strong team members, like I said to you earlier. So we're not even close to being done when it comes to automotive. And, we're moving into automotive now. We've just released our black ceramic and, we're on it. You know what I mean? So I say this to guys all the time. If you need to find your place, give me a chance. Give us a chance. See if we grow together because we're growing. I mean, I don't like to speak about it, but I know you've seen it. I mean, look at the traction that we've had in 2 years. Where's that coming from? What are we doing differently? I don't know. I don't know if it's a secret formula, but it has to come down to customer service. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to come down to being there when somebody needs you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, you guys came out with a unique product that's going to grab attention. You have, I think, a great looking logo, great looking marketing. You have nice booklets, you have nice demonstrations, and so on. That's going to get you even further. And then the customer service and the support that you provide, that's the difference between keeping that attention and it growing or it being, a burger you try and don't go back to. You know what I mean? So, like, that, I feel like those ingredients must be there for the growth that. And then the other thing is, I don't want to downplay like the demand. Like you all have a unique product that actually grabs a demand by name. So if I'm a consumer and I'm looking for a transitional film, because people understand transition, like there's transition in glass in cars and some high-end cars. There's obviously transition in sunglasses. This isn't like a completely new concept. There's smart film, like you said, and now there's transition in your windows. If you're looking for that, you're finding CoolVu. So it has its unique place with the demand, and I like that. I think as a manufacturer, as a distributor, as anything, if you're putting out a product there, I feel like it falls on you a little bit to get some consumer awareness, and I just feel like CoolVu at least check that box of
Oh,
consumer.
appreciate that. That was a lot of hard work from our team. I mean, really, that was a lot of hard work from everybody involved. To
Because if you
be,
have a new product and it's great, but nobody knows about it, and it's completely on your dealers to educate them and make marketing material and do all these things, then it kind of sucks. But if you, which you have, created those little demos and different like super simple like sliding ways to show the difference of the transition and so on, and I don't know, I like it. I like that. I feel like that is not something that people should ignore. They should see that those are very important parts of the sales process and of the whole thing.
I mean, these smart films are the future of our industry. I mean, people are going to have to realize that, or they will get left behind. I mean, it's as simple as that. I was smart enough to realize it when it was brought to me. When it was first brought to me, it wasn't to be a distributor. It was, it's an interesting story. It was brought to me by Jason, and and he said to me, he said, "You think he can sell this?" It took me about all of 30 seconds to say tomorrow, and then of course he made the offer to be a distribution hub for the East Coast. And I was like, "Yeah, let me get a lawyer."
So
So
you cover the East Coast. What are the other territories, and
yeah,
who are we looking at?
great question. So Bob is my main guy, man. He's out in Arkansas. He's a window tint guy too. He owns American Window Tinting out in Arkansas, and they cover. I'm sorry, I don't have the map in front of me to tell you, but he's basically, you know, the Midwest area, Arkansas up to like Chicago or Illinois and that whole area, and then Mike Herrera controls the West Coast and some of the states in the north part, like North Dakota, South Dakota, and stuff like that. So it's a there's three of us that are really in charge of distribution, and then I can't forget my boys Frank up in Canada at Tecton. They handle all of Canada.
And
We got a
then
dealer in Nova Scotia, bro. Like we have a
yeah,
dealer in Nova Scotia. I think he tints off a Viking boat. I'm not sure. I hope he's not on here. I just
do you are you all pretty international? Other than like you have Canada, U.S. Are you in South America? Are you in
no,
UK?
just north. No. From what I understand, he just the rights to the United States and Canada. Correct. Puerto
And,
Rico, that area.
and then so interesting. Well, and then you have your own shop, which is the Tint Wizard, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's where it all started. Started out in a little bay on a corner, long, long time ago. I started out with borrowing $500 from my mom for my first month's rent, and a friend's credit card to buy my first three rolls of film, and that's all history.
Were
And then
you
from there,
outside?
no, it was a little ran down mechanic shop had an extra bay on and they weren't using, and I got enough guts to walk in there and say, "Hey, can you rent me that bay?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure, $500 a month." I was like, "Okay." I went home and told my mom, and she's like, "You sure about this?" And I was like, "I'm positive." And there you go. That's the foundation, and from there it was hit the ground running.
Isn't it crazy how something that simple could happen?
No,
Like that simple little like shift or whatever it is, or like that click that made it something you did and you saw that empty space. Like if that empty space wasn't there, that one bay, if they would have had a car in there instead, like that wouldn't happen. What would you be doing? And so on. It's bananas.
I'd like to think I'd be an astronaut or something, but that's probably false. You got to you got to be in good shape for that. And
Man, I feel like there's a lot of requirements for those types of lofty positions that we underestimate. Where it's like, yeah, you have to be in like the top 1% of the world as far as like your understanding of you know things like science and so on. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot to being an astronaut. Um, Cody mentioned should have held on to those domains. So I think what Cody's talking about is so you are the original owner of tintwiz.com, which is
yeah,
Tintwiz.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
incredible. Like this goes to show you the circular like family like thing that. went on.
Yeah, I sure was. I owned tintwiz.net.com, the tint, all of them. I bought them all up years and years ago, and then I just, I didn't. I saw the .com thing kind of just going away, and I wasn't too worried about it. I was pretty well established, and obviously you picked up tintwiz.com, so I'm happy that I did it.
And
You know,
I am too. I'm extremely happy. So previous to this, before TintWiz was TintWiz, it was Tint CRM. Like that was the original name, and it was Tint CRM. And um, man, 2 years ago, for probably 6 months, I was racking my brain and we're trying to figure out what would be the new name and looking for domains. It had to be short. It had to not sound like a tin shop. It had to be this. It had to be that. And Tint was available, and I feel like I probably picked it up. I think I looked at when you expired, and I feel like it was only a few months later, and it was just available, like
yeah,
$12, like the whole thing.
yeah.
And I'm a big domain person, so I hold a lot of domains, and I let them expire too, like it happens to everybody. But thank you.
I called my attorney about that,
Oh
so
no,
there. So we,
when?
no, don't worry, you'll get the paperwork in the mail. It's coming.
Right? Funny story. I actually had bought a domain. I think it was like lumarwindowfilm.com. I still have the letters from Lumar's lawyers. It was back in 2014. And I had bought the domain. I didn't use it for anything. And just by owning it, I received a legal department cease and desist on that domain. I responded as the aspiring lawyer that I want to be, and told him that I was not causing confusion. I had no intent to cause confusion. I hadn't used the domain and so on. But I believe that they were in the right by forcing me to turn over the domain to him, which I did shortly after to it because I didn't really care. So anyway, I'm glad you're not registered, like trademarked and so on, so we don't have any problems.
No, no, you're good, man. I'm good. See,
But
I
man,
win.
see how that
And
goes. See how that comes around. That's when you told me that, I'm like I was blown out. Like what?
yep, yep. Years ago, man. That's pretty cool story when we started talking about it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
One.
So thank you for not holding on to the domain, and let's talk about the pilot program.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited about it, really.
I am
I
too.
guess my approach on that is, and we've teamed up together on this and talked about it a little bit, and we're going to continue to work at it because it's trial and error. But I, again, I touched on it a few minutes ago. I want to take guys that don't want to go through the same struggles that people like me went through coming up in the non-information era, with technology. You just didn't have it, these that are ready to adapt. There's so many hard things they can skip by jumping into your program. To me, brother, is an industry changer. I know that you hear it, but I mean that honestly. Like what you put together, it it cuts out 5 years of BS.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? It does, and it takes you further than that. The sky's the limit. So no, when me and you had that talk, it made great sense to me. I was like, this is a win-win for everybody. You're in the process that you care about what you do. We care about what we do. So here you are applying what you do, and we're applying what we do to somebody. I mean, I don't know. That sounds like somebody would be buying a consultant company. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about it. I really am. I can't wait. We got a couple people on board for that already, and I can't wait to add a couple more. You know what I mean? I don't know how your take is on that, but
Yeah.
that's me.
I mean, look, I think it's obvious, in my opinion. First of all, the thing that really, the fact that you see the value in Tinwiz, to me, that's like everything. Because if you're, whether you're a dealer, a distributor, manufacturer, anybody in the world, if you see the value, now we can talk because I can show you even more value than you think you're seeing, and I can show you more and more and more. And I know that I'm not showing you something I dreamed up. I'm not showing you something theoretical. I'm showing you something that I specifically developed parallel with my company. It led to, I think, some of the best results in the industry as far as growth of a tint company in a short period of time. I don't think there's many times that has happened. I think being able to sell a company in the tint industry is kind of rare. I'm speaking openly here. I think that's kind of rare. I don't think you see tons of companies being acquired. So there had to be something special in there for it to go from zero to over $3 million in sales in 4 years and change in a competitive market like LA. Now you can say, well, that's a big market. There's a lot of opportunity. That's awesome if you're in another state and that's how you want to play it. But the truth is that when you're in a big market like LA, you're saying, man, how do I survive here? There's a million tint shops. And when you're in a small market, you're like, how do I survive here? There's no tint shops and there's no cost. Fact is, everybody has their market. There's advantage to everywhere. But my point is, Tint Wiz in a longest way possible. Tint Wiz, to me, it's something that I have now 6+ years in. It's something that I know. Look, there's many ways to do business, but I know Tint Wiz can take you from lead to invoice in a way that makes the most sense. Okay, so the fact that you as a distributor, you want to look out for your clients, your customers, your dealers, and say, how can I benefit you the most? And the fact that you say, hey, I think Tint Wiz is a great option, to me, I'm humbled, I'm appreciative, and so on. And I know that there's not going to be a single CoolVu dealer that does this program that will have anything less than fireworks to say, if you can speak firework. Okay. And that's why I'm excited to come out here and publicly talk about it with you and open the doors for anybody who wants to be a part of it, because it's not a, hey, this is going to be some secret thing we're going to do behind closed doors. No, this is going to be something that if you're part of it, I want all your feedback. I want your feedback to be public. We're going to be working our butts off to do anything we can to even further support you beyond what you already do for your dealers and what I already do for our users. We're going to be able to come together. And I know that whoever jumps on this first and is part of this pilot program is going to be blown away, and not blown away like, wow, Eric's a really nice guy and David's cool too. Blown away and holy shit, this has been a transformation for my business in 90 days that I didn't know was possible. And I want to have hopefully a group of CoolVu dealers that some of them sell a lot, some of them don't sell much. Some of them are new, some of them have been doing it for a while. Some are in a big city, some are in a small city. Let's go a mobile guy that has no shot. Like, let's take, every type of scenario we can put in there and show and demonstrate to CoolVu and to the other dealers in the network that this is a way to go, so that we can have not only that positive change on the group that does the pilot program, but then hopefully roll that out to every other dealer. And you created that opportunity for the CoolVu dealers by seeing the value. And I mean, that's why I keep saying I appreciate it. I love the fact. I spoke to Bob today. We were doing a demo for 2 hours. The 2 hours went by in 5 seconds for me. It was 2 hours. It was like that. I was speaking as fast as I could, and I didn't take a breath, and the 2 hours flew by because of his enthusiasm, because of the value he sees in it. There's nothing I could. There's nothing. I'll shut up now. But that's my.
No, hey man, it's the same way I felt when I saw it. I was just completely. I don't even know how to say it. It's one of those things sometimes when you feel like you're like, oh great, I've been doing things wrong for 25 years. Congratulations, But that's the point you want to come to. That's how you know you're growing. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And I started talking to Bob about it when I explained it to him. He had the same mindset. What? Man, look, you're what I would say is someone I respect because of your passion and trying to give back to the industry that's been good to you. And this is how we win. You know what I mean? Like, really, at the end of the day, going home and being able to lay your head on a pillow and know that I'm that genuine about it. I love knowing that I go home at night to my beautiful soon-to-be wife this August.
Congratulations.
18-year-old and 12-year-old daughter that I love so much. And I sleep better because of it. You know what I mean? I feel clear-headed because the CoolVu brand, we don't have to dilute anything. We don't have to, cloud anything up. And then to join up with another like-minded individual for a program we can hear an amazing success story that'll make us smile in the morning. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that. It's just a great feeling for me.
I agree.
Like I said, I'm genuine about that.
Samir asked what is the pilot program again? So basically what we're looking for is we're going to take a group of CoolVu dealers of every different type, and it's going to be a 90-day program. And the idea is integrating Tint Wiz and, integrating Tint Wiz to sell more CoolVu film, to sell more film, to improve the process, to improve the efficiency of how you run your business, and to improve the customer experience on the other end. So the way I imagine it, the visual that comes to my mind all the time when we're talking to dealers, and is your process right now, if we were to draw your process, not you specifically, but as a line and branches, and we say, okay, a new lead comes in, it comes into where your email. Now what happens after that, what happens after that, and then a call comes in, what happens after that, and you go on a quote, or a car comes in. There's all these different, like, you go down that path and it branches off in different directions. And what I'm simply saying is, we can take that process and say, watch this, we can compress it and make it so damn simple for everybody in the company that you eliminate back and forth, and you eliminate certain follow-ups, and you make the most out of the phone calls, and you follow up on emails, or quotes rather, and so on. You eliminate a lot of the things that take time, that are straight repetition, and it's just a waste of your time. And anyway, Samir, that's what it is. And to me, the only thing that I say is, how do you qualify for this program? You have to be open-minded, because you have to be willing to do and take the suggestions, and change the processes where they're at, the little parts and bits and best practices and so on. And as long as you're willing to implement it, I think you qualify for the program, in my opinion, and you'll be able to see the results.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. Allow us to step in and help you understand how to really build a ladder between different film qualities, and how to serve it up to your potential client, and from there, talk with us and be open and candid, so we can, because this pilot program isn't just, it's not for us, it's for you. I mean, we're wanting to learn from it, because if we continue to learn from it, we're going to be able to make our experience for you, we're going to continually grow and make it better.
Right. Right. And that's the difference between, like, what I feel is special about this pilot program is, of course, somebody could be a CoolVu dealer, and talk to you, and you're going to help them every way you can. And then the same goes to me. But when we're coming together, you, I, the other people at CoolVu, the dealers that are a part of this, and we closely communicate within a period of time and work together, it just leads to more development. It just leads to better and better onboarding, better, things come up, and you can't figure those things out until you start going down that path. And I'm looking forward to the people that go down that path with us, because it couldn't be a more fun way to start out the year than with some awesome case studies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we live for. I mean, that's why I told you on the phone last night when we were talking for a second. Window film can get a little repetitive at times. This creates a new challenge, and just opens up an avenue of exploration, and it's fun. It really is fun. You know what I mean? I mean, we get to be firsthand and watching someone develop and grow bigger than what they realized. They just have to have a little faith in the system, with more experienced guys that have, you know, don't know everything, but definitely have a general idea on how to do it, but also have even more intelligent. I have way more intelligent people behind me to help me. So I don't know about you, Eric, but I'm pretty blessed when it comes to that field.
I can tell you
So
with certainty, I'm not the smartest person at Tint Wiz. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. And I know people say, "Well, who else?" There's more than me. I'm just I'm just the person that maybe more people know, and that's it. But you don't want to be. I mean, if you're the smartest person in your company, it is what it is. But you want to put yourself around other intelligent people. You don't. It's how you grow. It's how you learn.
build on the strengths of the people in your team. I mean, everybody has a strength on your team. Figuring that out is the first step to success. Then you work together and you grow. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, I don't really. It's one of those things that's really hard to really break down or define, because it's like it's uncharted territories, and it's definitely it. How do you tell somebody how you're just going to have to put some faith in us? You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got just about nothing to lose.
exactly. Like, time wise, I feel like it's you're going to be investing maybe a couple hours up front into learning, and you're going to be saving time every minute after that. So it's not like we're asking for a giant time investment. There's absolutely no cost to being part of the pilot program, because there were some questions on how to be part of it. I mean, it is open to CoolVu dealers. That's the whole point. So, and that's because, that's where the idea came from. It came from CoolVu. It came from us working together. So, if you're not a CoolVu dealer, I don't know if I mean, I guess you could become a CoolVu dealer between now and then and join the pilot program. That's up to you.
Yeah, just I mean, I'll just make it this simple. Call me. You know what I mean? Give me a ring. You know,
And
that's it's simple as that.
in this video, if you're like in the description of this, there's a link to David's Facebook page, as well as like on our Facebook and so on. Like there's a description to this live stream. And in that description, there's a link to CoolVu's website with a Become a Dealer form. There's a link to David, to your Facebook, as well as your company's Facebook. So all that's there if anybody's wondering. But it's David and then Karle, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
Easy,
So,
easy to find.
oh, Josh asked real quick if TintWiz is an open API. It's not an open API. There may be an open API one day, but we do have an integration with Zapier, which does open up a lot of integration options, but it's not an OPI or open API currently. But he said he was looking to integrate with other programs, and you definitely can through the Zapier integration. So that's that.
What you rattling over there? Shot glasses?
No, so I got my phone here. Well, I have two cups, double fisting. I got coffee in one hand and water in the other. And then I have my phone here and I have this quote that I wanted to bring up, and that's why I was rattling my phone. And it look, it just it's a good quote because it really embodies. It's been on my mind the last few days since a team member actually shared it with me, and I can't get over it because I shared it with Carrie yesterday from Iron Duck Designs, and she called me a hippie. And man, I just feel like this says it all. And so I want to read this quote. And I lost David. David, you there? What the hell happened? David, you put me on hold. That's what happened. All right, everybody else is there. We just need to wait for David to get back. But David, you're on hold somehow. We're going to get to this quote. David, thanks, or everybody, thanks for holding on while we figure out this. I'm just going to hang him up and call him real quick. Sorry for the delay, but we can get him back. We'll get back to typical. Okay. So there's obviously a little bit of a technical difficulty maybe on David's end, but no big deal. I'm sure we'll get back in a second. So I'll read the quote without him. And basically, it is, which is more important? Asked Big Panda, the journey or the destination? Now you're probably wondering what's big. Oh, there's David. We'll do this a couple times. Hey, you're back.
The good old world of internet, brother.
What happened?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. You know, internet drops sometimes. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Hey,
worries.
I just wanted to say that I think in the pilot program, and if we want to do it with some guys, the first 10 guys that sign up, we're going to give like free 10 rolls of 40 by 50 of black ceramic too as well. And that just came down from Jeff himself, and he told me to tell you hello.
Nice. Well, hello, Jeff, and thank you. And I mean, jump on this. I'm just saying, if you're a CoolVu dealer and you're listening, or if you want to be part of it, just get in touch with them because there's going to be obviously you can see there's a lot of reason to be part of it. And all right, so quote. I was in the middle of reading this hippie quote. I'm going to start again, and I just want to say because I feel like it embodies it. I know it's kind of being weird now, but basically the quote is: it says, "Which is more important, the journey or the destination?" And the answer was the company. And when I thought about it, it's like, why are we doing this? And, where are we going? And you think about all the things you want and you think about, well, the journey, I'm going to love the journey and so on. I'll love like the fun of getting there. And then when you get there, you'll get what you wanted and all these things. But at the end of the day, what are we doing the entire time? We're with each other's company. So like when I thought about that, I'm like, what do I like? Like, what's more important? The work I do or the people I'm doing it with. And when I think about it, it's all that comes to my head is all the people I'm doing it with. I'm not like, I mean, yeah, there's the work, but the people stick out. Like, so anyway, I think that's something everybody should keep in mind. It's not about necessarily the journey or the destination. It's about the company you keep along the way. And there's the hippie quote.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the company you keep will create like-minded individuals and make the journey a lot easier.
That's the whole thing, the whole journey. It's all about the journey, right? And the journey is about who you go with. You don't want to do that journey alone.
You know, I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan, man. So you're going to pull me down really a hidden people that you don't know about. Yeah, man. So we're just excited. I mean, and I wanted to say thanks for having me on here tonight too. You know, I really didn't get a chance to really say that in the beginning. I think you're again doing a service to the industry by just you have personally connected a lot of window tinters together that may have never had the opportunity to sit down and break bread or talk and chat. You know, you're kind of bridging that gap between a lot of people. You know, somebody was saying something to me today, or I talk about it all the time. A lot of window tinters will know each other and they dislike somebody that's a town over or something like that, but they actually never really even they never know the guy, you know?
Yeah.
So you're bridging that gap, man. And that's cool too. You know what I mean? I think it's just important. I mean, I think what you're doing plays a huge part in building relationships with guys. I mean, if you took a year ago to a year now, there's so many more people that feel comfortable reaching out to somebody about questions, installs, grasping the idea, this or that. You're helping us all grow with this format, this podcast, and you know, I think I say it on behalf of everybody. Thank you for doing it. I mean, really, seriously,
Thank you
it's
for
and
saying that. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks to everybody for watching it and so on. It is what it is because of everybody, truly. And there was a post. There was a couple posts that I caught right around the new year that were really like literally toxic. Like they're, oh, this fucking industry and toxic and toxic, and I'm getting out of these groups. And it was in the detail industry. It wasn't in the window film industry. And I reflected and I'm like, it's not a shit show in the tint industry. None of the groups are shit shows. Yeah, things happen. But like as an industry, maybe it wasn't the case 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Right now, in today's time, if you go into any of the groups, I don't think there's a shit show. I think there's you're going to find in every single group people that want to help you, people that want to answer questions. Are you going to get a smart ass comment here or there? Absolutely. Does that mean it's a shit show? Definitely not. That's just life.
like
But I think we have an incredible industry. So thank you for everybody for making it what it is, because that's what it is, and that's why it's so unique. And I say this all the time, but like I don't know where that exists, where you have a nationwide and worldwide community of people in an industry that know each other on like a first name, like family basis, will fly across the country to help each other. And like, where does that exist? I just don't know, and I don't care because I think it's awesome that we're in window film. So
no. My favorite thing in the whole world is to pull up to a shop with a guy that's interested in CoolVu films, and I'm going out as a rep, and I'll go in, and it's happened more than once, and I'm like, "What you doing?" They're like, "Man, look, I know I had this appointment with you today. I'm super busy. I don't know if I'll have time to stop." And I'm like, "Here, just give me 5 minutes." And they're like, "Okay." And I'll go out and grab my tool pouch and bug back in. I'm like, "All right, let's get to work." I mean, that's this industry, and I've found that that's just an
yeah,
amazing thing to do. I've yet to find a window tinter say, no, 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 I don't want you to help me. You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
yeah,
I've heard, is this free a couple times? And I'm like, yes, this is free, man. I'm hanging out. Window tinting is fun for me still. You know what I mean? It really is. I mean, we have fun window tinting. I mean, of course, like anything else, there's times where it tests you, but we still have fun doing it. So being on both sides of the fence has really taught me so much in the last 2 years. I was on one side of the fence for so long.
right.
Now I'm on the other side of the fence. It's I don't know. I have a whole new challenge in my life that I'm moving into, and it's so far, man, it's been great. The people, the situations, the relationships, the friends I'm meeting. I knew a lot of people before, but it's nowhere even close to where it is now, and that continues to grow. And I'm not going to stop, and I'm not going to change who I am. And I'm an open book, and this format gives me a chance to actually, people put a face to a name. So that's what's important. You know what I mean?
Cool. Well, thank you for doing it. I really, really appreciate it. It's the first one of the new year, and it's been a long time coming to have you on. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just had to make sure ducks were in a row, and I'm glad we did it this way because we're trying an experimental thing that we think we're going to have a massive success with. And I just want to say that it's a surprise, and I'm disappointed because it was supposed to be there today. But you're supposed to have a CoolVu shirt on right now, and it has your logo on the other side. So it's be looking for it tomorrow in the mail.
Thank you.
FedEx dropped the ball again on shipping this year. No surprise. They haven't been
No
everybody's
worries.
friend.
Yeah,
So you
shipping's
rock
been
the shirt one
horrendous.
time,
Say
just
again?
rock it, just rock it one time and give me a thumbs up. Would be happy to
Oh,
see you in it.
100%. I love t-shirts, so thank you very much. And
Oh no, you're getting a Callaway polo, brother.
nice. Well, I like
Callaway
polos.
polo, all embroidered. No. It
Very
ain't
nice.
no t-shirt. You can rock t-shirts if you want, but this one's gonna give you the. You can go out to dinner
Give
with
me
the family.
make me a little nicer looking then with the polo. That's fine. Um, Mike Powell. Mike Powell's in. I think he's in this. You guys share the great state of North Carolina together.
Mm-hmm.
He asked if he said he would love to get transitional film in his hands, like to like I guess a sample or whatnot. So just putting it out there. It's in the comments.
Okay.
So you'll grab it from there, or Mike, you submit your information. Or you mess. I just wanted to get lost in the comments. So I'm just bringing it up. Um,
Yeah. Let me write that down real fast. This is what my team has taught me to do lately. Write
day to
stuff.
night
Hey,
window film or day to night film technologies rather.
yeah, he's my
And
friend on
you know
Facebook,
Mike
so
Powell, and then Mike Powell's links are all in last week's uh, Tint Wisdom. If you need to reach out, so you guys have your links in the.
he's up in Rocky Mount, isn't he?
He is. Where are you at, Mike?
I think he's in Rocky Mount.
It's not like he definitely calls it a different name. It might be the same area, but like I don't know. But anyway, great state of North Carolina. So
We all love each other, man. Look, whenever you get over this side, me and Hoss and Mike probably will come too. We're going to take you out to a nice country breakfast and get you some collars and cornbread. And
I'm
but
down. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love North Carolina. We were in North Carolina last year, or maybe it was the year before. But I love the Smoky Mountains. We spent a couple weeks camping in the Smoky Mountains, and North Carolina's beautiful. Yeah, Roanoke Rapids. That's it.
Roanoke Rapids, sorry, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll tell him, let him know I'll get with. Well, he can hear me. I'll get with you, brother, for sure.
cool. Well, then that can be it. I know Tyler Jenkins. We'll go through all the comments after, but basically, there's a couple people in the comments I think that want to be part of the pilot program, and if you want to be part of the pilot program and you're not in the comments, obviously just reach out to David. David, what are you saying?
Hey, I got one other thing I wanted to say real quick too. I just want to make sure everybody knows that we have a booth and everything this year at the International Window Film Association 10 off. Uh, uh, I got my boy from a place called Solar Shade down in Jackson 40. Oh, Tommy Shimbo, man, he's a great window tinter. He's going to be representing us on the auto side. And we just want to make sure anyone that wants to get involved with that, please do. But more than anything, if you go to that, come by and meet. Come by and meet my team. Come by and shake our hand. We want to meet. You know what I mean? Don't approach us. You know what I mean?
So as far as we know, that's June, right?
Yeah, I think I saw June 21st. I'm speculating a little bit, but I think it was around that time period. So they have moved that. Hopefully, we get this under control and we can go forward with our life as normal again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm ready to do that.
And everybody should listen to what David's saying as far as like make sure you approach people. I'm the type of person if I see somebody like especially like if I saw you on this live stream but I wasn't on it, I might be like I'm not going to go talk to that guy or whatever. Like I would just be shy. I'm just a shy person, but I've never not spoken to somebody and it didn't work out. Like if you speak to them, who's not nice? Like think of and I've never spoke to an asshole in the tint industry that I've gone up and been like, "Hey," and then they're like, "Ah, you know?"
I might take them out a little bit. I might take it up. I like to be one step in front of everybody. I might give them a hug.
There you go. There you go. That would be definitely a 2021 specialty. Are you going to be so? Okay, the tint off and conference we're talking about is in June in Orlando. However, in January, so the month we're in, on the 14th. So what's that? 8 days from now, approximately. There is the tint off online preview. Do you know if you are going to be in your virtual booth on the 14th of January where anybody can come interact for free?
I believe so. Yes, I think that's the email. I hate to again. I've got so much going on. I hate to speculate about anything and not have my ducks in a row on that. As an extremely important man told me the other day, my email looks like a vegetable soup right now. Uh, I believe so. Yes, but I'm not 100% sure. I can definitely anybody that's curious to know about that. Well, we'll just find out. You know what I mean? I hate to.
Yeah.
Good.
So again, just for anybody who's listening, you can go to the Tintoff's website, you can register, and on the 14th, there's going to be a virtual event that you can go to the different people's booths. You can chat with them. I think you can video chat with them, but also there's going to be panels and different speakers at different times. So like I think it's completely worth doing. It's free, it's virtual, and you can connect with whatever people you want to connect with. So look out for CoolVu then as well, and Tint Wiz will be there as well. That's January 14th. Now, real quick, let's touch on a comment by East Easton. He said, "What a dumb date. Canadians can't come. It's our busy season. Should have had it in the fall." So, Easton, guess what? It's not just the Canadians that are in their busy season and it's a dumb date for. It's the entire United States that it's their busy season and it's a stupid date for. So, while June
Yeah,
is a crazy date, it is what it is. I almost want to say I hope it gets rescheduled to like October or September, but if it's in June, I'll be there and I hope everybody else can make it. I don't know how.
you know, it is what it is what it is at this point. It's a new world we live in, man. We've got to adjust a little bit. He's right. It is the busy season, but at the same time, take a break. I encourage this to people. One of the things I've learned over the last couple of years and taking a different mindset. You know, you don't have to be pedal to the floor all the time if you're doing things a little more correct. You can take some more time with your family. You can spend some more time with yourself.
Yep.
You owe it to yourself. I mean that generally. Like even me, I've challenged myself to step back, and I thought I would be lowering productivity and gross profit dollars, and
Right.
actually they've gotten better. And I find myself now having more time with my family. So no, get out of Canada, man. We'd love to have you down. You can come down and talk hockey with me. I'd love talking hockey. So just take a break. Come enjoy yourself for a few days,
Right.
man. Everybody in this industry earns it. I mean, 13 hours a day, sweat running down your face. Take 3 days off, man. You can make it happen.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
it's not like you're going to watch a movie. You're going to meet with your industry peers, the companies that service the industry, and the amount of knowledge that is under that one roof and that you have at your disposal far outweighs hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars, like $1,000 or so that you may lose or not make rather within those 3 or 4 days. The amount of knowledge you can gain can make you that money back like that. Like that's really what it's about. Look, if you're racing a car around the track, do you not want to pull into the pits for a bit, take a look at everything, maybe tune it up a little before you head back out, or do you just stay with the pedal? Eventually, you know, it doesn't work. You have to stop. You have to reorganize. You have to level up. And I feel like
Reset.
those are opportunities to level up. And it's not like, look, if you wanted to work, you had all last year to work. Well, not really because the closures, but all right, forget it. Point is, see you at the tint off whenever it
Yes.
happens.
Please come. Enjoy yourself and meet us.
Cool. Well, David, we can wrap it up. Thank you for doing this, and really excited. So,
Yep. Pleasure's all mine, man. Again, and thanks to all our partners out there and anyone who's interested, like reach out to us. Let's get you involved in this program and let's, as they would say, let's kick 2021's ass.
and just really quick before we go, not that just to bring it up because it kind of came at a weird time. If you want to be part of the pilot program, just reach out to David or anyone at CoolVu, or if you reached out through Tint Wiz, of course, we'll put you in touch. It doesn't matter. But what you mentioned earlier, I just want to remind is there's some free film involved too. So that's,
Yep.
you know,
Solar and security distribution is, you can just go to my Facebook page, follow the solar security link, just get in touch with me any way possible. We'll get you to the right person. If you're on the West Coast, wherever you are, we'll direct traffic and get you to the right place.
cool. And the phone number, and there's an email to Solar and Security in the comments right now as well. So if you're listening, you can always check the comments. You'll find the phone number and the email in there. And that's that. Thanks again, David. And really thanks everybody for always watching and being a part of this. And everybody who, like Jeff, obviously, and Bob, and everybody part of the CoolVu team and part of the window film industry, period. Just many thank yous.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed evening.
You as well. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great night.